Okay, happy Thursday, everybody. Big waves to you. So, Andrea, can you hear me okay?
Coach, are you on your Wi-Fi at the office?
Yes.
You might want to
Is it
switch to
bad?
your, yes.
Okay. Am I breaking up really bad?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Rick
great.
says no, but
Okay, I'm going to try to go with it because I'm afraid I'll be real still. How about that? Can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
So word for today. Hey, Dwight, man, we got a lot of good people on this morning. It's all good people. But good to see everybody. Some new faces. So the word for today is identity. Identity. And stay around to the end because we're going to give away a book, a really good read. If you've never read it, somebody's going to read it or get it. The definition is the fact of being who or what a person or thing is. And does identity change as we get older? Does the environment around us affect our identity of who we are? The things we watch, the things we listen to, can you change your identity? I'm asking those questions to think about this morning, but Patricia Briggs said identity is partly heritage. It's partly upbringing, but mostly the choices you make in life. So she believes that definitely you can alter by the choices you make your identity, you know? So if I'm going through life and I'm partially it's my heritage, partly it's my upbringing, but I decide to watch every day something negative, like seriously negative, will that in turn alter my identity? I think so. So the book we're going to give away later is Unlock Your Identity by T.D. Jakes. Discover who you are and fulfill your destiny. But I went this morning with ways to find your identity. Like so many times we're like, man, I'm me personally, I'm 46 years old. And sometimes just to self-reflect and take an assessment of what I am right now in this current walk in my life, what's my identity? The first thing it said was to list your strengths and weaknesses. Like with where you currently are, if you were to take a little time to list what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, sometimes it's not easy to do. Sometimes your human brain makes it really challenging to list your strengths and weaknesses. So one of the things it said to do is ask somebody that knows you to help share your strengths and weaknesses. You know, number two, identify your core values. We talk about that a lot, but what are your values right now that are really important to you? Number three, what are your beliefs? Like, how do you believe right now? I think the older I get, I'll put myself out there. I believe that the more value you can put into the world, it comes back in spades. So if you're looking for success, go add more value. Find ways to add value. And it's almost like the more I can find ways to help, crazy enough, even when I don't have it financially, if I can find ways to help, it's just like that. The things line up, things happen, things come back in spades. I see that more and more and more the older I get, that be the case. So that's one of my beliefs. Number 4, have you taken a personality test lately? Have you taken time to evaluate yourself? Maybe the Enneagram, like take a test, evaluate what your current is. That'll help you unlock your identity. Number 5, reflect on your past. Reflecting and looking back on your past. We were actually just talking about this as me and Andrea was talking about this lesson this morning over the phone. Something came up and we talked about, well, we believe this way, or this is my action because of the past I've been through. Andrea, was we not just talking about that? So reflect on your past, because it could have an effect on the identity that you are. And then last is, what are some passions you have? List them. What's your passion right now? So that was just some of my thoughts around identity. I think it's cool to every now and then stop and reflect and unlock who you are and where your identity is right now. All right, Andrea.
Well, great message, Coach. And before we go any further, we have to say happy birthday to Daryl Peterson.
Yes, I meant to say
Daryl.
that. Hey, Daryl, happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday.
He's 41 and life's good. 40. Oh, he's 42. 42. Sorry.
42, a baby. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, happy birthday, Daryl. Hope it's fantastic. And this was a good one this morning. So definitely a good lesson. So, I'm like, what in the world does it even mean? Identity, your sense of self, and identity refers to your perception of the collection of characteristics that define you. So things like your personality traits, your abilities, your likes and dislikes, your belief system or your moral code, the things that motivate you, all of them contribute to who makes each of us our unique little humans. And people that can easily describe, like they're like, oh, I am blah, 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 right? Like you ever sit with certain people and they can just describe themselves to a T and you're like, oh, that's actually pretty accurate. And then you sit with other people and they try to describe yourself and you think, well, maybe that's an interesting idea of you, right? Like they just don't quite have the same sense of self. And so I don't know if anybody spends a whole lot of time thinking about this. I know I really haven't. I haven't sat down and thought consciously, like, who is Andrea Rosser? But it's actually really important to have it defined. And why? Why is it so important to go through all the steps that Coach just told us about in order to define who we are? So first of all, knowing who we are truly allows us to live with a sense of purpose and develop satisfying relationships and can contribute overall to good emotional health. So it's like, okay, well, that really makes sense. That sounds good to me. But it also is hugely beneficial when we're making choices in life, from things as small as, where do I want to eat dinner tonight, to bigger concerns like our personal values or where we want to live, or, kind of knowing what comes from ourself versus comes from someone else, right? So, if you're with your significant other, for example, and you're trying to decide on dinner, I'm going to tell you, and it's one of my toxic traits, I don't know, where do you want to go? Right? Like I am never going to tell somebody where I want to eat, like maybe 1 out of every 1,000 times. Now I can narrow the choices, but that's it. Right. And so it's like knowing what you want and having that stronger sense of identity can help you get what you want. If you always say, I don't know, well, then you're always going to get kind of what somebody else gives you. Your self-image can also help fuel recognition of your own worth. So when we truly can identify ourselves and we identify our strengths and we identify our weaknesses, and we can look at the places that we need to improve, but we look at the places where we also bring value, it helps us know that we are worthy. And when we're in different situations where respect isn't being served or our value isn't being appreciated, we'll know ourselves enough to know, okay, it's time to walk away. right? And then that identity also makes us it easier to accept all of ourselves, right? So if we know, hey, Andrea has these strengths, and we know, hey, Andrea also has these places to improve. If you have that balance of knowing both sides, you can accept yourself better. So really like that. And then the last thing that it talked about was, when we lack that personal identity, it can make it really hard for us to make decisions. So we can kind of drift through life just following the flow, right? So maybe we get on social media one morning and we see that somebody else is going on vacation to Florida, and we think, oh, that's what I should do. So we plan our vacation in Florida, right? But then the next day we go on there and somebody else is buying a house, and we think, oh my goodness, I should probably buy a house. And we just kind of flow through our life, drifting based on other people's decisions without really thinking about what we value. So some questions to ask yourself, and then I'm going to shush when you're figuring out your identity. So Coach kind of talked more about, how to find it. This is more just kind of go into some detail here, but do I say yes to make other people happy, right? Because that can definitely take away from your own personal identity. What are my strengths? What brings me happiness if I ignore everybody else? What are my values? We talked about that yesterday. And do I live my life accordingly? And then do my choices reflect my own interests or someone else's? So I thought this was a doozy. I've got some work to do here, Coach, but I appreciate it. Great word. Thank you.
No, great lesson. And yeah, this was a good one to think about, do a little self-reflecting on. All right, let's see who the book is. And I got something for tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow, the word is rut. And I want some participation tomorrow. So rather than us talk, we won't be able to get to everybody, but maybe in the chats and the comments, we can all participate. But I want you to think about it, because I want to call on some people tomorrow. Can you hear me? Okay. I want to call on some people tomorrow, and I want you to be able to tell me, like, what's a rut you've been through recently, and how are you working your way out of it? Because we can gain a lot of perspective and ideas through our own trial and error, right? So, and triumph. So, maybe it's a rut in your weight loss journey, or maybe it's a rut in your business, and you go, here's how I got out of this rut. So it's got to be super quick so we can get to a few people, but just maybe a rut you've been through and how you got out of it. All right. We'll all kind of participate, go around a little bit tomorrow. And let's see who wins the book today. So here's what I want you to put. First of all, Daryl Peterson, we're going to send you a copy of TD Jake's book, Unlock Your Identity, for your birthday. Happy birthday. And all right, maybe let's put unlock in the chats. Let's see who comments. Unlock. Let's see who wins the book today. Give Andrea Rosser, whoever wins, your address where she can mail it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who we got, Andrea?
We have Colleen. Well, Colleen, I lost your last name. Hold on. Well, I'm going to look here because I can see it. I don't know if I know how to spell it or say it. Stockling? Kind of.
Close enough. Close enough.
I'm unmuting you, Colleen. Tell me how to say it.
It's Stockline.
Stockline. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you so much.
Daryl, send me yours too. Congratulations.
Colleen, we're sending it to you. Thank you for sharing on Instagram too, and putting our Coach's Corner out. Guys, we love you. Happy Thursday. Have a great day. See you back tomorrow.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, great message.
Great.
Thank you.